I'm just worried about. Okay, yeah, Spurs. I agree with you. I think they are. They are really. I think they're going to challenge for that top four. It looks like they are gunning for that top four.
Bafana held their own in a physical battle with Nigeria. How many times have we seen that in the past?
Like he's just managed to get that team in a winning mindset. You know, everybody that comes in, you know, Zwane gets injured. We thought, oh, what's gonna happen? Masonganye just steps up. You know, Masonganye is out. What's gonna be the next player in that position? Mule just comes in and step up. You know,
I mean, City clearly deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
But was it a 3-0? Was it that dominant a performance?
You know, I think City just poked hole in the whole system of America.
4 in a row for the Buccaneers, and there might have been a red moon in South Africa last week, but a blue moon rose over Manchester. This is Black and White Boots. Let's start. So a bit of a surprise for football fans in South Africa. One of the most famous voices in the South African football scene has now been revealed. And I say now been revealed instead of we're going to reveal him, because there was a trailer at the beginning of this that sort of ruined the surprise. So if you are a baller or a former baller and you recognize that voice, finally we reveal the face behind super sub Mulalo.
Yeah, no.
Welcome,
Finally.
brother. Finally.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you for revealing yourself.
Hey, it was, yeah, you had to convince me, hey? Because otherwise I was not gonna.
I couldn't agree to do this podcast with you because we wanted to do this podcast together, just the two of us.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree to do this podcast with you and talk to the other side of a camera and be the only one on it.
It would have been odd. I agree with you. It would have been odd. But yeah, no, here I am. And yeah.
Welcome. Finally, a face behind super sub. Lali,
Yeah, man.
let's kick it off with the big news in South African football. 4 times back to back. The Orlando Pirates FC 8. Of course, now the MTN 8.
Yep.
I've satirically renamed it the Orlando Pirates 8 because that's 4 in a row.
Fairly so, man. I mean, Orlando Pirates are proving to be the kings of that tournament. They just know how to win that tournament.
Or cup football in general. South African cup football in general.
I mean, in the past 4 years, I think they went to they only lost one, which was to Kaizer Chiefs.
To Chiefs last season.
You know. So they really know how to
Chiefs last season.
which they're doing very well this season.
They're doing very well.
I must commend them.
They're starting how they left off.
Yeah, no, they are. And I did say to some of my friends that Chiefs could be a surprise package this season, but nobody believed me. But coming back to Pirates, I think they just know how to craft results, especially in the finals. You know, they've just been a team that just goes to finals and just get it over the line. I mean, if we look at the game on Saturday, it was basically, there were no chances created, that clear-cut chances. It was not so clear. I mean, it was a game of 2 halves. You know, if you look at how Pirates line up and how Stellenbosch lined up, you know, in the midfield with your Palais, Tiane, and Pirates with Mbule, Mbata, and Nduli. You know, they were sort of like cancelling each other. There were no like clear-cut chances that were created. And at some point I thought, will this go all the way to extra time and penalties? Because it did not look like it's one of them can take it. And Lord behold, second extra time, you know, Pirates just came on and then just delivered a stellar of a performance in extra time. It's unheard of, you know, and they just took it over the line. I mean, 3-0. And I was saying, it's the first time I see such a clean final. I don't know what you think about that final. It was so clean, no controversy. When you look at that game, you're like, you know what? A game was won in the field of play, and there's no other way.
I think yes and no. I think 0-0 in a way was misleading of the game if you were to see the first 90 minutes.
Yeah.
As much as you describe it as there being no clear-cut opportunities, I think that was more a case of a lack of clinical final third play, more so than it being a cagey affair. Most cup finals can be cagey affairs because no one wants to lose it in a way. So it feels timid and that it's like a very defensive display. I didn't see that in this game. I thought it was a very open football match, surprisingly.
It was quite open.
But I think it was just a lack of the efficiency in the final third or that clinical nature in the final third from both teams.
Both teams.
Where
was
there
firing.
should have been clear-cut opportunities in the 90 minutes, and there weren't many.
Yeah.
And it was a very open game. I was very surprised by that. But Pirates, there's a mentality to Orlando Pirates that carries you through cup finals. Because when you get to a final, the team across from you aren't slouches. They've gotten there on merit as well.
Yeah.
We know the MTN 8 preseason tournament.
If there's such,
I think the only validity to the term preseason tournament for MTN 8 right now is that Orlando Pirates might be the only thing making them guilty of winning a preseason tournament because of how successful they've been in that tournament in recent years. But it's the top 8 teams in the league. You're not inviting teams from other leagues, lower leagues, anything like that. It's a serious tournament and people put their best sides out there. Yes, it's at the beginning of a season. Yes, at times, I wouldn't say everyone's up to speed, but by now, by the final, you're up to speed. It's in the season. We're in the midst of the season. It's not a preseason game. Perhaps the first round, a little bit.
Yeah, because it's the first game
of the season.
Yeah.
So but it's not a preseason tournament in the same way that England's Charity Shield or Community Shield rather is pretty much a preseason.
Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
And what I like what you said, that you have to qualify. You don't just get invited. You have to have finished top 8 in the previous season, which says a lot about you as a club, to participate in it. If you can't finish top 8, you don't participate, like our friends there, So I don't think it's a preseason
cup.
I don't think it's fair to call it a preseason cup. I think it's one of those cups that, it gets us going and it's less games, but economically it also makes sense. You win that cup, you are 10 million into the season.
Yeah, that's the other key factor. 10 million.
Yeah.
Preseason tournament? No.
How much
it's
do you
important.
Get for a Betway Premiership? You're getting half of what you get.
Yeah.
By playing how many games?
I think it's the third most important trophy in domestic football in South Africa.
It is.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a Nedbank Cup. Yes, it's not a Betway Premiership crown, but it's next on the list. It's the next best thing. If you can't get those two, which let's be honest, with Sundowns around, who's been able to get one of those two regularly? Pirates have been winning Nedbank Cups
and MTN
8.
Is the culling that seems to elude them, season in, season out. And I hope this season we can do a clean sweep, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a tournament of very few teams,
the
culling knockout. So in a similar fashion. So very interesting stuff to come. Let's move on to Kaizer Chiefs while we're in the Betway Premiership.
Yeah.
They've started the season very well.
They did. And like I was saying earlier, I was saying to a friend that I think Kaizer Chiefs are going to be a surprise package. And they thought, no, man, with the way they played last season, they didn't see them coming back this strong, And when I said that, and I must be honest as well, I was not really thinking that they're going to be on top of the log. I was thinking they will be challenging somehow, and they've sort of surprised many people. And credit must go to
Coach Nabi.
But I was referring to Junior, the director, to the way they've been doing business, I mean, the acquisition of Mayo lately, they're just adding quality. Mabuwe who's a tested a player from Sundowns days, and they've just brought them in. It just goes to show you their intention. And I did say last season that winning the Nedbank Cup is going to ignite something with Kaizer Chiefs. And it did. And they just look like a team that is very serious about winning this season. And they want to challenge for everything that's there on the offer.
I think confidence is huge in football. And that Nedbank Cup would have given Chiefs a huge boost of confidence.
Massive.
And talk about a heavy shirt to wear in South African football. I don't think there's a heavier shirt to wear than a Chiefs shirt. So to have that trophy in the bag is makes the load a little bit lighter, gets the fans on your side a little bit, and it just makes it easier for quality players to play the sort of ball that they can play. Yeah. And maybe it doesn't hurt that probably behind the scenes, Naby's English is getting a little bit better slowly by slowly, right?
I doubt, but yeah, I agree with you, man. And I think, you know, when they won that cup, as the streets were buzzing, you know, I mean, let's be honest, Chiefs is one of the biggest team in the southern region, well, in Africa, I mean, with 16 plus million followers. You know, you could just see on a Monday that, no, Chiefs really did well. Wherever you go, you just sink as a Chiefs jerseys, you know, and that, when the fans are so happy, it filters down to the players, and then the players' motivation just rise up, you know, and we can see this is these boys want to die in the field, you know. And I don't think they're playing the best of football out there, but what I like about them right now is that even when they're not playing the best of football, they just get results. And that is very important. Those are the makings of champions.
Speaking of champions, Sundowns, big 3-0 win this weekend.
Statement of intent. Yeah. I think they're just saying, guys, we had a slow start, we drew with cheaper, yes, but we're still in this by the longest shot. Like they just, it was just a statement of intent. They're just saying, you know what, guys, we're still gonna be a problem. We're still gonna be dominating. And 3-0. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, slow start, but only slow start relative to how Sundowns tend to start a season. I think the biggest issue with a slow start for Sundowns, relative slow start, is that we know that they're always going to have other commitments everywhere else. So they're going to be playing the season with games in hand as they do every year. But it's points on the board and games in hand, whereas now they might not be sitting on the top of the log with games in hand come later in the season. It might be more competitive for them, but it's early days. It's too early to say.
It's early days to say, but one thing that we can say about Sundowns is that they've got a framework. You know, they know how to maneuver within the league and Champions League and other competitions in between, you know. Excuse me. But what I hope happens, they sort out their issues with certain players, like your Mudau is not playing right now, which I think they really need, you know, and it's unfortunate that Ribeiro decided to release himself, which is crazy. But if they iron out all of those boardroom issues, I don't see Sundowns having an issue this season, honestly speaking. Yes, I think maybe Pirates can still challenge them there, and Kaizer Chiefs are up there trying to put their hands up. Skukune is doing well as well. We've seen they've been number one until yesterday, you know. So I still think Mamelodi Sundowns are going to be a problem this season. I don't see them really dropping that far if they do drop.
I think they've got the best squad in the league still, and they play a brand of football that is just absolutely unplayable at times. No. And I think they're the sort of side that tends to not drop points against some of the smaller opposition, some of the lower positioned teams in the league. And, you know, it will just bode well for them going forward if they can continue that trend and go on for even more unprecedented record-breaking season after season after season for Mamelodi Sundowns.
I agree with you there, because if you look at, and I'm going to reference to Pirates, you know, as to how they usually lose the league to Sundowns. Pirates will go on a Wednesday night to Chippa United and lose the game.
Yeah, they will.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Mamelodi Sundowns don't do that.
No.
They just go out there and just get results. You know, they just know how to win.
And then it puts pressure on you in the big games, because that's where you have to take points away from Sundowns and win those games. And then you don't. Whereas if you just got your points elsewhere against the lower league opposition where you should be getting your points, it puts less pressure on you for the title. You need those points because you know Sundowns are going to accumulate points.
Yeah.
So that's Betway Premiership, early days.
Yeah, no, still very much early, but it's exciting. But I think it's starting to shape up now.
Yeah, hopefully it's a more competitive season. I mean, even if you are a Sundowns fan, I think there's many Sundowns fans who have looked at league tables in the past and thought, I wouldn't mind a little bit of anxiety come the end of the season and have it be a closer race.
Yeah,
you know, but I think if you're a neutral or if you're a football fan in general, especially if you support a team other than Mamelodi Sundowns, you'd love to see a couple teams in this pushing for that title. Just like come late in the season and you're looking at it, you're like, there's still 3 or 4 that you think could pip this. I think we'd all love that.
Yeah, no, same here, because I actually was saying this earlier, that if this can be at least 4 or 5 team race, it would be nice. We've seen how Mamelodi Sundowns just win it with games to spare, and then even their fans even stop going to the stadium in the later stage of the season, knowing that it's in the bag. If they can be pushed all the way, it's gonna bring us an exciting end to the season.
And hopefully that brings us fuller stadiums like we saw in the MTN8 final. Good packed stadium, good amount of noise, great atmosphere for that. That's what we want to see come the end of the season. Fans going there like, we need to back our team because this could go any which way come the end of the season. So that would be nice to see some full stadiums and fans really getting behind their teams this season.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Speaking of filling up stadiums, Bafana.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing, and we'll get onto qualification for next year's World Cup, etc. And Marco, international breaks over. Why are you talking about international football? Hey, the next one's just around the corner. We got another break in October, right? Bafana held their own in a physical battle with Nigeria. How many times have we seen that in the past?
Sure.
Physicality from Bafana against a team like Nigeria.
Not often, and I was talking about it to say, what, this team, actually, they went into that match to say, what, we're going to try and match you pound to pound. Be it physical, be it on the play, on the play, I think we outplayed them.
Outplayed them, yeah.
And the physicality, I mean, you had Nkota, who's probably like 1'6", going against a Basi who is like 1'9",
1'9", yeah.
It just goes to show you that this team is motivated, and I think credit must go to Madala Hugo. I think he has instilled a winning mentality in that team. That team is resilient, I mean, when last did you watch a Bafana match and actually not worry about losing and just say, we just want to win? When you go to watch Bafana these days, it's like, it's almost as if it's given. You know what I mean? I mean, how many games have they lost in the past 20 games?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you can see it in the CAF rankings.
Yeah.
You can see it in the FIFA rankings.
Yeah.
That from when Hugo took over this Bafana side, just climbing that table. The players want to play for him.
The players want to play for him. And from outside looking in, it does look like Madala has brought in, that element of managerial. He's not a coach. I think he lets Hellman do the coaching and he just manages, he's just managed to get that team in a winning mindset. Everybody that comes in, Zwane gets injured. We thought, what's going to happen? Masonganye just steps up. Masonganye is out. What's going to be the next player in that position? Mule just comes in and step up. It's just how the structure is right now, that everybody that comes in there just seems to want to do their best, and it's showing in the field and in the results. And I think credit must go to the old man, whom a lot of people doubted when he was appointed.
Well, I don't think there's been a Bafana coach who hasn't been doubted as they ever appointed. So
yeah, no, definitely.
It's a job with a lot of scrutiny, and he's held up very well. Come October, Zimbabwe, 3 points in that game.
Yeah.
Fundamentally puts Bafana through. If you look at the goal difference factor that's in there, they're currently 3 points ahead. A win would put them out of reach, I'd imagine, because of that goal difference factor, barring a tremendous loss against Rwanda later in the qualification process. The only thing is there's that niggling possibility of the Mokoena yellow card ineligible to be fielded. No complaints as yet.
Yeah.
If it gets this far, who's going to raise that complaint?
I just wonder, hey, and I think as a South African now, what you worry about is what happens if we lose or draw one game, So I think what we need to do is just go win our last games, because whatever happens, if we win all our last games, we should be okay.
Yeah, you can dock the 3 points and the three goals. And as long as we win the last two, we should still be fine.
Yeah.
And then that would put a lot of pressure on any of the following pack. To, let's be honest, it's only one team.
Yeah,
that's
Benin.
It's Benin. So Benin would have to go win their following two games.
Yeah.
Force them to do that. force them to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm very confident that there won't be a complaint unless it's really raised by Benin, and then it's like starting to look close, and it's their opportunity to squeeze a foot in through the administrative office into the 2026 World Cup.
Yeah, no. I always hate it when decisions are made in the boardroom to determine the fate of other teams, I hope it doesn't get to that,
It would be a real shame on the administrative staff for missing that.
Yeah, no, that's critical, but I hope it doesn't get to that. Because flipping they've done well, man. And
they deserve to be there next year.
They deserve to be. I mean, if I was Nigeria, I see them complaining and about the pitch. I'm like, you've played so many games, in good pitches, and you're not getting results, It's Bafana's groups to lose, let's be honest. And I think they are the most consistent team in that group. I mean, they're not number one by fluke,
Yeah, let's hope that they don't have to go over to those playoffs in order to guarantee their qualification for the World Cup next year.
Because if something do happen, I think we are in a better position to still go through to the playoffs. But I think that's a worst case scenario.
I agree. Okay. Well, moving on from local football.
Yeah.
A new segment for you. Of course, it's new. It's a brand new show.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. This is called Tacticos. Are pre-game formations a thing of the past now in modern football? In modern football, we're looking at a lot of terms dedicated to specific roles and players. We look at free roll, roaming, even the terms such as inverted, where players are able to invert their positions. And what this has meant for modern day football is that the pre-game formations aren't necessarily always perceivable during a football match. Let's take the example of a 4-3-3 formation or an adaptation of that right now. You see you've got your wing backs or full backs rather on either flank, and they're given a role to generally get up and down the pitch and stay as wide as possible. You've got your two centre backs, two holding midfielders, a number 10 position, which is pivotal in this role, as well as wingers who are normally suggested to keep wide and provide width for the team. However, if we look at a formation in possession in the 4-2-3-1, for example, you see it looks a lot different. So when teams who play possession-based football have a system like a 4-2-3-1, a lot of the time you're going to have a midfielder fall back into a back three so that they're able to move the ball around and play out of the effective press of the other team. If a team presses up to try and stop the play of that central midfielder, he's able to distribute the ball back to his goalkeeper, receive the ball again, or find those clever passes that break the lines in midfield. So as we look at a 4-2-3-1, while defending deep against a team that likes to press high, Ange Postecoglou comes to mind for a team that likes to press high, it becomes really difficult for players to move the ball around effectively in defense without getting pressed and turning over possession in your own third, which of course turns into a lot of goal opportunities or XG opportunities. So this is where a goalkeeper who is able to supply the defenders, midfielders, etc., with an extra set of feet that has the ball playing ability that has become so important in the modern game to defend against this high press, to add extra bodies into that field to receive the ball. Of course, the threat is then when a player is able to run in behind past the high press, as we see over here. Of course, out of possession is where you see a return to something a little more traditional. This is a 4-2-3-1 position, or formation rather, where you see a distinct 4-4-2 defensive configuration when defending or out of possession. So therefore, a 4-2-3-1 formation on paper allows players to adapt into a 4-4-2 when defending, to become more rigid, and also allowing them to press the ball effectively, as you see here. Or, of course, a 4-4-2 that is more compact and able to defend deep, mostly for teams that are
less equipped with ball winning players, and therefore just trying to make the field a little more compact. As we see here, once again, you'll see distinct lines of a 4-4-2 formation. Another popular formation in the game today, 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-3 formation. It's an adaptation of that, where you have 3 distinct center backs, 4 across the midfield with the 2 wing backs, as well as 2 number 10s supporting a single striker. You see many variations of this formation in the modern game as well. Let's have a look at that in possession. Now, here is a 3-4-3 formation in possession. You'll see that in order to beat a press, those 3 center backs are highly effective, allowing the midfielders to move further up the pitch. However, the essential element of a 3-4-3 formation or 3-4-2-1 formation is having ball-playing center backs. If this center back requires support from his wing back, who's normally expected to stay very wide, he's able to come and receive the ball tight. However, if this is the only player with space on the pitch, he needs to be able to feed those runs of the forwards. So either those 2 number 10 roles or the solitary striker. That is going to be very important. And therefore, those 2 left and right sided center backs have to be ball playing defenders. And these adaptations of footballers having center backs that have to be able to play the ball, or Mark Cucurella for Chelsea, for example, a left back who moves more central into the field and even into strikers' roles to find the space to break down teams that have a stringent defensive line and therefore aren't able to mark man for man when you have those inverted fullbacks. Let's have a look at the 3-4-3 formation, because you might be asking, well, Marco, is that the formation then? Is that what people need to be putting on paper and saying, this is the formation that we've got? Look at a 3-4-3 formation out of possession. You'll have your right wing back pressing the play, and you'll have your left wing back dropping back in to support those 4 center backs across the line. And that looks distinctly like a 4-4-2 out of possession. Let us know your thoughts. Put it in the comments below. Is the pre-game formation something of the past in terms of modern football?
So that was tactical. What do you think actually, before the tacticals, we were talking about Bafana. Did you see the AFCON fixtures out? We're playing Egypt, and
I did see that.
we also have Zimbabwe there in that fixture. Okay, how do you think we're gonna do in the AFCON?
How did Egypt do against South Africa in the last AFCON?
Yeah, no, look, but
you can't expect them to keep performing poorly at AFCONs like that.
Yeah.
They're a tremendous team with really good players.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can just draw against Egypt and win the other 2 games, and then we should be fine. And I mean, obviously, last season last AFCON we came third. Third.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we can go all the way.
Yeah.
Am I being too ambitious?
No, we reserve the right to be ambitious as South Africans and as Bafana fans. And what was so interesting, last week, it was a poor weekend for sports, for South African sports in general. The Springboks lost a heavy defeat to New Zealand. Drickus du Plessis lost, massive hiding for the Proteas in their fixture. And I think it was the female Boks also... the ladies rugby team also caught a big hiding.
Yeah.
So it was a bad weekend for South African sports in general.
Yeah.
But Bafana are now that team that's like, well, at least we can look to you.
Yeah, true.
And why not?
Definitely, I agree with you. And I want to say this, we need people to start supporting Bafana of all race, all color. If you're South African, you need to rally behind Bafana as much as you do to the other sporting codes, because I think they've shown in recent years that our trajectory is really, really like one of winning. Like we're doing well, and we need to start supporting Bafana.
Yeah, I mean, you understood it in years gone by that the Springboks and the Proteas in particular were points of pride for South African sport because of their success.
Yeah.
And I think Bafana are becoming more and more deserving of that. And right now, at the moment, they're a point of pride and they deserve the support.
Fully agree with you.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
English Premier League.
Oh, lo.
Let's kick it right off. Manchester United versus Manchester City at the Etihad. A game started off in somber fashion because of the loss of a Mancunian legend,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Hatting. Then more mourning for the red side of Manchester. A 3-0 defeat in a derby is never nice.
It's
Never nice. I don't know if it's a completely accurate representation of the game, but I mean, City clearly deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
But was it a 3-0? Was it that dominant a performance?
I think City just poked hole in the whole system of Amorim. There was just so much space. When City was in transition, they always looked dangerous, and I mean, even how the first goal was scored, there was just so Dogu has ample time in the final third, to cross it first, gets blocked, and then he can cross it again. It just goes to show you that I don't think Emirates system is working, or they've Premier League have got their Emirates number. I don't know, but I feel like his system is not working. There was just so much space, and City utilized it and did not set a foot wrong.
I definitely noticed that Pep Guardiola is not afraid to change it, make small tactical adjustments, tweaks here and there, and he'll do them quickly as soon as he notices something on the pitch. And that's why he's a master, and that's why he's a legend of the game.
Yeah.
As a manager, where he'll push up a fullback or push a fullback central to allow Dorgu to be wider, or put the fullback wider to allow Dorgu to come in and receive the ball and pack out the midfield, which is looking very empty for Manchester United, which forces a centre back to push up, allowing other runners into a space. It was very clever from Pep Guardiola, and let's be honest, it made City look comfortable. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't say they were dominant.
No.
Man United had a few chances, but City had more chances to finish off as well. It could have been 4-0, it could have been 3-2, it could have been 5-2. City always looked comfortable.
They were very, very comfortable. And, talking about tactics, and I just wonder what's your pick, or what's your thought with the fullbacks that you call them fullbacks, eh? Full wings.
Wingbacks.
Yeah. Wingbacks. Because they're good. They're good. I mean, it's Mazraoui and Dorgu, right? They're really good. But I just felt like when they get into the final third, they don't give United much in terms of crosses that can cause problem for City. I just feel like the entire system, and I'm coming back.
They're not creative enough from wide positions.
They're not going to give you they're not giving what your Trent would give you.
Yeah.
And also playing Bruno in the midfield, I just felt like he was in too deep. And when City is in transition, he was always behind, which opens up the space. I just thought maybe starting with Casemiro would have made a massive difference, because Casemiro obviously sit deep. I don't know, but you tell me.
Ugarte didn't have a bad performance, and he's the one who came in for Casemiro. So he was pretty good at disrupting City where he could. But the midfield does look a bit empty. Actually, the side looked much better when you had Ugarte next to Mainu. And then Bruno was allowed to play slightly further forward. I think that Man United's best setup is with Ahmed as a wingback.
Okay.
Amad Diallo as a wingback, he supplies more danger. He can score goals. He can create goals. He's difficult to deal with. So as much as I like Mazraoui, he's a hard worker, etc., I think he's a great depth player to have. And let's be honest, not every week is going to be as difficult to match as Manchester City at the Etihad.
Yeah.
I know it's not the best Manchester City side we've seen in recent years. I know that it wasn't a tremendous game from either team.
Yeah.
But Man United, first of all, they need some confidence. They need some wins on the board. We know what confidence does to a team. And you look at the technical ability of that side. They're good footballers.
They are.
They're good footballers. They've cost a fortune. They've played well at Wolves and Brentford and
Everton,
other teams.
Was it last season? Yeah, 4-0.
So I think that this side have some quality to them. You've got Cunha and Mbeumo who have come in, have both looked quite good, but not really hit the ground running. And Sesko looks dangerous, but he's a big boy. Put some crosses into him. He gets high. He should be able to score some headed goals. He holds up the play a little bit better than what Højlund was able to, and I think that impacted Højlund's success trajectory at Manchester United is that tactically you needed your number 9 to be able to hold up play and put the game together. But the difference between Sesko and Haaland, it's a difficult comparison to make. Haaland's probably the best number 9 in world football.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Haaland was tremendous.
It was tremendous. And
He was tremendous.
defensively, have you seen the work that he's putting defensively?
That second half was Haaland's half.
Yeah.
He perhaps wasn't there too much in the first half.
Yeah.
Foden popping up with the goal. But in the second half, Haaland, 4 defensive headers in the space of 2 minutes?
Crazy.
Getting up and down the field. And then good luck dealing with him when he's running towards you.
Yeah.
Great performance from Haaland. And Man United don't have that, but to be fair, nobody else does. Hopefully, Sesko becomes a little bit of that target man for Manchester United, and then they're able to create something for him. But Man United strikers, they're going to need a lot of chances, and they're going to need to get goals under their stat sheet very quickly to get some confidence so that it doesn't end up like another season of Man United being goal shy. They started the season creating a lot of opportunities. They need to take opportunities. They need to start scoring goals. They need to roll over a few teams, win a 4-0, win a 5-0, get some confidence under them, and then maybe that shirt won't be so heavy and can see some good performances from Man United.
Oh boy, it's heavy. Hey, I mean, it's 32 games, only 8 wins, Marco.
Yeah.
And I mean, the question now is, does Amorim stay? Like, you know, some are saying
I was saying this last season with 10, I was like, who do you bring in and when? You know, I think it was really unfair to bring Amorim in when he was brought in.
Yeah.
He should have just started his job now.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't fair for him to be under this pressure unnecessarily playing with Ten Hag's players, not even his own, to suit his system. He should have come in the summer. They should have backed him in the summer, build this team that he wants and let him start fresh. Let him have finished off a season with Sporting and win a title there, etc. So it was really bad timing from everybody there. But hopefully they go on. I think they have to stick with him. I don't think they've got a choice. And I think you just have to trust the system and hope that it pays off at some point. But hopefully something can click, especially in that midfield area where they can, find a way to fill the midfield up. Maybe a De Ligt or a Yoro stepping up more regularly into the midfield so that it's not so empty, something along those lines. But sure, they need a lot.
Yeah, because my issue is that he talks about the mentality of the players. And we just had the transfer window, and also as a manager, if you're going to talk about the mentality of the players, I mean, it's your responsibility to get them into the right mentality of winning, right? And my question is, did he do good business that... did he bring in players that suits his system in this transfer window? Because
definitely with Mbeumo and Cunha.
Okay.
I think that if you look at that front three, Sesko, we're yet to see, right? It's difficult to say. Although it seems like Newcastle were in for him, Arsenal were in for him. It can't be horrible.
Yeah.
It's not that these clubs have been recruiting well.
Yeah.
So with Mbeumo and Cunha, if they can create chances for Sesko and themselves and take some goals, etc., and Man United can start scoring some goals, they don't concede that many chances. A lot of Man United's goals have been from mistakes. So if they can stop making mistakes, stay solid and start scoring some goals, I don't think it's that bad a transfer window, and it's definitely improved the squad relative to
what it was.
Amorim's system. I think that's very important, is that he's got like 2 proper number 10s who are able to adapt. And I think I don't think it's a bad transfer window relative to his system. They've got enough ball playing centre backs, with Luke Shaw, Lissandro Martinez, Lenny Yoro, Matthias De Ligt. They've got players who can play in a back 3. He's brought in the wing back that he wanted. They've also brought in Diego Leon, who's maybe more for the future. So let's see. I think it should be a good window. I think the biggest thing is that we don't know if Senna Lamens is going to be a good goalkeeper. I think that's a position that needs work.
Yeah.
Let's
That
see.
and midfield, I thought you needed to do some serious business.
They tried. They don't want to just buy anybody, which is probably a good sign. You know, they've got a target in mind of who they want to pair with Bruno. Jeez, I think Man United fans just want to see Kobe Mainu play a little bit more. He's like a bright spark. So.
His quality, I think he just need more time as well. You know, he's one of those young talents that I think can develop to be like really, really top class, you know.
Another team that was struggling last season, absolutely flying at the moment, Tottenham Hotspur.
I saw, I'm like, flipping hell. He just changed Andrew. And
Thomas Frank has taken that side and made them look like world beaters. Clearly a very good football team.
Yeah.
They've made good signings. They've been effective. It's a good side, that Spurs side, and they're winning games.
And they lost Son.
And they lost Song, who, okay, is in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
Don't seem to miss him at all.
Not at all.
Lost the European Super Cup in the last minutes against PSG, probably the best team in Europe last season at least. Spurs are looking very good.
They are. Eh? I'm just worried about, Spurs I agree with you. I think they are really, I think they're going to challenge for that top four. It looks like they are gunning for that top four.
For sure.
Know? And I worry it's Forest. Eh? I mean, getting rid of the manager. We did kind of see that the relationship it's strenuous towards the end of last season, but Nuno has proven himself as a really, really good manager. And was it wise, according to you, to get rid of him?
No, not at all. I mean,
I think they're going to pay a heavy price.
I agree. And if you've got an owner who's that sort of involved in a club, and for personal reasons, not sporting reasons, because let's be honest, Nuno could never be fired for achieving what he's achieved at Nottingham Forest with the sort of, okay, they've spent some money, but what he's achieved at Forest, he's made a very good Forest side.
I know, I mean.
And there's Anthony Elanga's gone to Newcastle, etc., so they've lost some players, but Nuno would have been fine. You know, he would have managed that team perfectly fine and they would have been successful. And there's obviously a personality clash where the owner's maybe a little bit arrogant and he's there for a fight. Yeah. And now Ange Postecoglou's coming in. And let's see how he does. He's a popular figure because he's entertaining.
Yeah.
You know? But sure, that high press of Ange in a team that's got, let's be honest, not really top world-class talent like he had maybe at Spurs, and it already wasn't successful at Spurs. I always think this of like smaller clubs, and no disrespect to Forest, they've won a lot in their history, but it's been a long time since Spurs were a big team. I mean, since Forest were a big team. Ange Postecoglou, high line with that team. You look at smaller teams, and they're mostly successful being just well set up, difficult to beat, and having a few players who can pop in with some goals, and that's how you get success at like one of these, again, no disrespect, smaller clubs like Forest. Sure, it's going to be interesting to see how Ange sets up, and if he stays with his philosophy. So a lot of very stubborn managers in football today who aren't prepared to adjust on their philosophy. They're stubborn and they stick by it. I'm scared for Forest right now. But maybe they'll prove me wrong.
No, same here, because I think they're going to pay a heavy price, because I can already see, I mean, they're struggling already. So, but let's see. Interesting stuff.
Liverpool absolutely flying. I don't know if there's much to say there. They're very good. And what I like about this Liverpool side, Jurgen Klopp installed a mentality in that Liverpool side already.
Never die mentality.
And oh my goodness, what a mentality. And
take it all the way.
Yeah. And it's just under Arne Slot, it's just even more so. You know, they will play till the last minute. And Man United, historically, they won a bunch of titles. They're the most successful team probably in Premier League history still. But that's 15, 20 years ago. But that's what they were.
Yeah.
They were good. They were a good side. And this Liverpool side's a good side. And they've spent a bunch of money getting even better players and making it even.
Line.
That front line is dangerous. They've got a strong bench. They can compete on every front. And they've got mentality. I mean, bets against Liverpool, good luck.
Sure. When I look at that front line, I'm like, what does success look like for Liverpool this season with such kind of front line, eh?
Yeah, they could win it all.
Flipping hell.
They could go on and win it all. I know it's really difficult for an English side to win a treble. Now, it's tough.
Yes.
It's a tough league. And
Hey, but they've got quality.
but they've got quality.
Ekitike just came in and just
hit the ground running.
Exactly. It's unheard of. Not many forwards come into the Premier League and hit the ground running like he did.
I know we're singing Liverpool's praises after
We're being objective.
to beat Burnley 1-0 in the last minute with a penalty that Hannibal should have never had his arm up there. It was silly. So he gifted them. But it's mentality. And
you create your own luck in football.
I think that Arne Slot could have been under a little bit of pressure because he didn't choose to field or to even select for his squad their new Swedish hero, who's the villain of Newcastle.
Oof. That transfer was marred with controversy. Yeah.
Massively controversial. He definitely didn't handle it the right way. But were Liverpool rather to drop points this weekend, there would have been a lot of questions on Arne Slot as to why you don't select your club record signing, the most expensive player in Premier League history. So they got the points. They're top of the league.
Yeah,
you have to what are you going to say? You're going to accept that? And jeez, I like a team that wins things on mentality, I have to say. Arsenal, let's touch on them before we move on.
Yeah.
Arsenal, they've been there. I think over the past, it's 4 seasons.
Yeah.
If the Premier League title was 4 seasons long, they would have won it.
Yeah.
Because they've accumulated more points than any other team over the course of 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And we've been saying it for 4 years. They need a number 9. We said it when Ivan Toney went to Saudi, even before then. We said it with a few number 9s that were available to them and they were really shopping for the right one, and it took them long. They got one of the best number 9s in European football from last season, Gyökeres. People are still debating whether he was just successful because he was in a weak Portuguese league. I don't think so. I think it's a very good signing. I think he's a great striker. I think he's quite a big guy. He's quite domineering. He can run over defenders.
Yeah.
And he connects the play, which is perfect for Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's able to connect the play and be another, instead of just being a target man.
Yeah, he's not a target man at all. Yeah.
Yeah, he's able to connect the play.
Yeah, he can draw back a bit. I think Arsenal are gonna be it's their season or nothing.
Yeah,
because
if you don't win it now,
when? And also you need to start to ask the question: do we have the right man at the helm? If you can't win it for 5 seasons with so much that they have spent,
to have been so close, to have been playing so well,
as it reached the ceiling.
Yeah, are you just the second place manager?
So I think. We've always been saying, the Arsenal are just a striker away that can score 20 plus goals. If they can get a striker that can score those goals,
they have to win the league.
They have to win the league. And I think it's their season. If they don't win it, because Liverpool, yes, they're still going to be there. City, I think they're still a bit shaky. I don't think they're where they need to be. And I don't think they're going to be much of a problem this season. Which gives Arsenal a very, very good chance, because they can really, really square up with City, and it's just a matter of, toppling Liverpool.
Yeah.
If we're being fair. Chelsea doesn't look solid as well. It's.
I think that the only thing stopping Arsenal from really winning the league, if we're honest, is Liverpool. Is that this Liverpool side
Liverpool
is
and
so
mentality.
Good, and mentality. But this Liverpool side are so good, and they've got so much depth that they might just run away with this league, and then Arsenal are going to finish second again. Look, City, Chelsea, contenders.
Yeah, definitely.
Spurs, contenders. And then you've always got Newcastle, who's going to be there and thereabouts, and a few other teams. But the Premier League's tough. There's a few teams that can go on and win it. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we think it's Liverpool 1 and 2 again.
Yeah.
And Liverpool, Arsenal 1 and 2 again. I think that Arsenal got their striker. Maybe it's a season too late, because maybe they could have won the league last season.
Maybe
because now Liverpool have strengthened and they look unbeatable. So maybe that number 9 is a season too late for Arsenal. But good luck to them. I'd love to see them win it, if I'm honest, and I'd love to see Gyökeres get those 20 plus goals and push Arsenal over the line.
Yeah,
I think they deserve it after how well they've played over the past few seasons.
Yeah, and hopefully Saka can stay injury free. You know.
Yeah.
He's another player that he does really cost them when he gets injured.
Odegaard as well, injured again.
Odegaard. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man.
These are important players that they need.
Those are important players, and if Martinelli can just step up as well, you know, because I think he's always been that player that shows good football capabilities, but he never really, like, I don't know, he never peaks, you know. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like,
yeah, so he's definitely, he has to show up when others aren't available, because I don't think he's going to be first choice in that team anymore. If you've got Saka and Eze both fit, then and Odegaard, that front four is going to be Saka, Eze, Odegaard, and Gyökeres. So there won't be a need for. But it's a long season. Injuries happen. There's a lot of games in a lot of competitions. Martinelli's gonna have to pop in and put in performances.
Yeah.
So the Premier League, it's looking devastatingly good. My only other hope is that you don't have 3 teams that have been promoted go straight back down again, because it's been too many years in a row where it's too hard for a championship side to stay in the league.
Yeah, and what would you say is the cause? Is it financial?
Yeah, I think the step up is too difficult. I think the Premier League is just too competitive. It's a great league. I know people have been criticizing it here and there, but it is the best league in the world. It is the Championship is such a good league that I think there's teams in the Championship that would be competitive in other leagues around Europe.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps not Spain, but a few of the other leagues around Europe. The Championship is a strong league.
Yeah.
But it's scary how big the step up is from a strong league like the Championship to the Premier League, where you make a mistake, they hurt you. The quality is just too high. So I think it's just too difficult for teams that come up. And I think I only see one of them surviving. And I can't even tell you which one. I just think that the other teams in the Premier League are just too good. Yeah. They're just too good. So I don't see, the only side that I think is an established Premier League team that's in danger of going down is Wolves. That's the only one that I don't have loads of confidence in. But I look at the rest of the league, I'm like, they're too good to go down. So it's going to be, that bottom of the league is going to be another story like it is every year in the Premier League.
That's crazy, yeah. I hope it stays up, eh?
I'm a Man United fan, so I don't. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, for Lucas Radebe.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
So, that's a wrap of our English Premier League. Right now, let's have a little talk about an iconic figure in the history of football.
Yeah.
This, 6-foot ballerina.
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, what a giant.
Zizou. Yeah. Let's have a look. Born to Algerian immigrants in the tough Marseille neighborhood of La Castellane, Zidane's journey began on dusty local pitches.
His decision to represent France was a natural one. It was the country he grew up in, the place that forged his raw talent into something special.
And special it was. As a player, his career was a highlight reel of iconic moments. Zidane scored twice in the '98 World Cup final, winning France their first ever title. An impossible volley in 2002 Champions League final for Real Madrid. A moment of pure genius that remains one of the greatest goals in history. A video clip that generations will watch back over and over again. Zizou was a 6-foot ballet dancer and a gladiator. His stats speak for themselves. 3-time FIFA World Player of the Year, a Ballon d'Or winner, and a legend for both Juventus and Real Madrid. His playing career ended ultimately in a low, getting sent off for a headbutt on Marco Materazzi in the 2006 World Cup. A final France ultimately lost to Italy. But Zidane's story didn't end on the field. He transitioned to the dugout and in a shocking twist became arguably an even greater manager. He took over Real Madrid and led them to an unprecedented 3 consecutive Champions League titles, a feat no one had ever achieved. His calm demeanor and ability to manage a locker room full of superstars delivered a historic success. Zidane's career is a masterclass in both playing and leadership. He didn't just win, he did it with elegance. That made the beautiful game even more beautiful. Lali, Zinedine Zidane, iconic player. You know, when you talk about Zinedine Zidane, I think he's the best. He's one of the best to ever do it. You know, and
memories that come to mind, it's obviously for people of my age, my first experience to Zidane was France '98.
Yeah. So, I mean, we spoke about that in this review of Zidane, is that 98 World Cup final.
Yeah.
Scores 2 goals, wins France's first ever World Cup. That tremendous volley in 2002 for Real Madrid.
Against Bayer Leverkusen.
In the final, wins Real Madrid the Champions League. And then obviously the devastating red card that loses France the 2006 World Cup final. But Zidane had an elegance to him. It's just like the ball was under his spell. He had an unbelievable first touch. He had unbelievable, natural, elegant control of the ball. But he was also a big, strong guy. That's the thing that you forget about Zidane, because he had all these beautiful touches and the ability to pass the ball, ability to shoot, dribbling skill beyond. But he was a big, strong guy. He covered the field easily because every step was a big step.
Yeah.
And he covered so much ground. He was an incredible player, and you couldn't bully him. He was a big guy. So for me, Zidane's one of the greatest icons in world football. And I think the one thing that you look at, Maradona didn't really do it as a coach. You know, there's maybe 2 great players in history that did it as a great coach, and it's Zidane and Cruyff.
Yeah. It's crazy that, you know, it was a 3-peat, Champions League,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But I remember we were talking about it with a friend because he was saying he doesn't think he's a great manager. He thinks he's got a great aura, and that translates to players wanting to play for him because they idolized him when they were young. You know, I don't know what's your take on that, but to be fair, I think he has done what is very, very, like, how many people have done that?
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
Zidane definitely has aura, and it's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
But he won the Champions League 3 times in a row.
Who does that?
But yeah, it's hard to say because we haven't seen Zidane
anywhere else. Yeah.
We haven't seen Zidane managing a team other than Real Madrid, other than the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So he's made the best players in the world win, and that could be all aura.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way Carlo Ancelotti was very successful with Real Madrid, where he's doing great with Brazil right now as well, is give those guys good players, and boy, oh boy, they're going to win everything for you.
Yeah.
You know, but do you see the tactical masterfulness of a Pep Guardiola in either of these managers? No, probably not. You know, they're not like tactical wizards.
Yeah.
But hey, sometimes it's just about getting 11 of the best players to play their best and win football matches. So let's see. I think Zidane's waiting for that France job as a manager.
As a national team manager after Didier Deschamps.
Because Deschamps has already said that this will be his last tournament with France, the 2026 World Cup.
Yeah.
So as that World Cup ends, France will be looking for a manager. I think Zidane's waiting for that.
Because there have been talks of him going to other leagues, but language, it seems like it's a barrier. And
yeah, Premier League was the one where he gets. But look, every time that there's a position open for a manager, his name comes up.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I think he's one of
him and Max Allegri.
Yeah.
As soon as there's a job available for a big team, it's like Zidane and Max Allegri are being linked.
Yeah.
And that never seems to even get to a conversation. It's just like the press talking. So I really think that Zidane probably has had his pick of jobs at a time. His record has shown that.
Yeah, no.
I think he's waiting for that France job, and I would wish him well. At that France side, the talent in that France side, he'll be successful there as well.
It could be a very, very good fit for him.
Yeah, I agree.
What a legend, though. I mean, I think he's one of the players that I really, really enjoyed to watch. You know,
yeah.
How many players can dribble you in the air?
No, not many. I mean, he was one of the most effective, beautiful football players that you've ever seen. So, what an icon! And I personally, I'm a huge fan of Zidane as a player. He's a Juventus icon. He's a Real Madrid icon. Great player.
But do you think his peak was short?
I think so. It was interesting that his playing career ended when it did. You thought maybe there was a couple seasons still left in him.
So, yeah.
And he wasn't like a Lamine Yamal where at 16 years old he was playing first team football, already a star, etc. So Yeah, the Zidane window is shorter than most of us would have hoped, I think. As fans of Zidane, I think we would have liked to have seen more of him. But I just loved the way he played football. He made it look easy, a bit like Iron Robin in a way, where it was like, what do you do?
Yeah,
just look at him, and like a Ronaldinho, what do you do? When he's on it, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? Only Marco Materazzi ever figured that one out.
What a player.
Speaking of Juventus, and let's close off on this.
Yeah.
What a game. Juventus versus Inter, 4-3, a 7-goal thriller. And Juventus are sitting 3 wins from 3 in the Serie A. The only team above them is Napoli, and it's level on points as things stand in the Serie A. I mean, Juventus have been dominant in Italian football in fairly recent years, and then over the past few years, there's been a big slump, and they've fallen completely away from Napoli and Inter, and even AC Milan. But Juventus could be back.
I think this is their season. I think they've been in the, in the trenches for a while now. You know, I think it's their season to come back. But what a game, actually, hey?
Yeah, well, what a game. What a game.
But, you know, with Italian leagues, one can never really tell, you know. I think it's still early.
Of course.
It's still early, but I think Juventus being where they are right now, it just goes to show their intentions for this season, and I think they wanna get back to the glory days. I think it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I don't think it's a story of top 4 this season in terms of ambition. They want the Scudetto.
They want it.
Yeah, and Inter have seemingly dropped off a little bit, but again, at these early days, they're a good side. They were in the Champions League final. They should come right back. They've got goals in Lautaro Martinez. They've got a solid, well-drilled team that doesn't concede a lot of goals in general. So, yeah, Inter should be back there and thereabouts. AC Milan, we imagine, will still be there competing. But as things stand, Napoli and De Bruyne's there. Wow. Boylan's there now scoring goals. Scott McTominay was Serie A player of the season. They've got a great side, Napoli.
It's crazy. Yeah.
They've got a great side. So Napoli surely favourites for the Serie A title so far this season, but Juventus look like they're going to push them all the way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
La Liga, you know, there's 2 teams in it every year.
It's a farmers league.
They're winning week in, week out. But wow, those 2 teams, those are good teams.
I'm happy for Xabi Alonso, eh?
Yeah, he got a job he deserved.
He got a job he deserved, and it seems like he's got that team where he wants it, you know? It looks like Mbappe is even a different player to what he was the last season. I think he's just scoring for fun. Now, I know he's a goal poacher, but
still for me the best player in the world.
Yeah, no, he is. You know, I was saying to a friend that for me, Mbappe won me in Qatar 2022 final.
Oh, he almost dragged France all the way by himself.
Yeah, and for me, from that moment on, I've always been a fan, you know. But I was just saying that this season, it seems like he's hungry for more. Eh? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think so. I think there wasn't Real Madrid's best season last season, of course.
There was
it's a disappointing season for Real Madrid if you don't win the league and the Champions League. I mean, that's Real Madrid. That's the demands of that club.
Standards, yeah.
And as much as it's an easy team to manage in a way because you've got the best players, so you should be able to win games. Talk about a heavy shirt for a manager. The scrutiny under a manager at Real Madrid. Every 2 days, you're reading a new article about how unhappy Rodrigo is. You know, how unhappy this one is to not play, etc. Is managing all of those personalities and managing game time for some of the best players in the world, where it's like Robinho will fit into almost any side in the world and he doesn't necessarily get a spot at Real Madrid because it just doesn't fit. We've got better players.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think having Alonso as a manager for Real Madrid, it speaks to the aura that I was referring to with Zidane. Like former players that really did well at the club and they are good managers. When they come back to the actual club that they play for, they tend to do great things. And I think players want to. Yeah, it helps a lot. You know, you've already ticked another box. You know, I think players wants to play for him, and we can see with the results. You know.
And with how successful he was at Leverkusen as well, it's
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, almost going the entire season without.
So yeah, the only thing standing in their way is Barcelona, who went and won up them again this weekend with a 6-0 win ahead of a Champions League week. So
crazy.
some great Champions League football to look forward to as it kicks off for the first time this season.
It's going to be crazy, hey? I don't like the new format. I must be honest with you. I don't know.
Maybe we need to get used to it.
You reckon? I think so. Maybe. You know?
I think it's always nice that there's more teams in a tournament, so that it means we can see more clubs. It's more competitive, etc. We've got a big issue with more games. We've just had a Club World Cup. There's too many games ahead of a World Cup year. It's insane.
Difficult to follow up, actually.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough on the players. And you think like a player like Mbappe is so important for Real Madrid and so important for France. He's going to play a lot of football. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We're looking forward to bringing you all of that news and action as you join us again on Black and White Boots. I'm Marco Martins.
I'm Lali Mulalo Musuphi. Danko.
Danko. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. We forgot about a little bet that we wanted to have for our first show. Number of views. By the time our next episode comes out, we want to have an agreement on how many views we've got across all the platforms on this episode of the show. The one closest to the number buys the other football shirt.
Yeah.
I
want to hear this.
Closest number.
Yeah.
80.
80. Okay. I'll say 200.
I hope I'm buying you a shirt. Good luck.
Yeah, if I win, it's a good bet.
Yeah,
it's a good
one.
one.
It's a good bet. It's worth buying the shirt.
I think 200.
Okay, great. So that's it. If you want Lali to get a shirt, go watch the episode.
Go and watch, please. I want that shirt. I want the new Orlando Pirates shirt.